A CASA advocate has the ability to step into a child's life at a very difficult time when they've been removed from the home due to abuse and neglect, not because they've done anything wrong.
When people ask me, well, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm a CASA advocate. And they say, well, what is that? And I'll tell them, I say, well, basically we're the eyes and the ears of the judge in the field, and we're the voice of the child in court.
To get kids in happy homes, to get them out of bad situations or to make situations better, but to ultimately get these kids in happy homes.
Just to be an advocate for that child and try to help him or her when no one else would be that voice. That's us.
DHS got a call from the police in up around Russellville that he'd been left at a truck stop.
This case involved, eventually the father was downloading child porno. There was domestic violence in the home.
While one of the children was en route to a hospital because she was not stable in her foster home setting, she disclosed some sexual abuse that had been going on in the home.
Step-grandfather, he was sexually molesting the child. And then the grandmother, the biological grandmother, was aware of it.
They brought these 5 kids in, and there was a little blonde-haired girl. She was broken. I've not ever seen a baby look like that.
I was assigned a case that was 2 meth parents, and the baby's head, who was 9 months old, had been slammed between a heavy door, and the door frame had ended up with concussions on both sides.
She was 7, and she just haunted me. I didn't know what had happened because, I just happened to be there. And this baby's eyes just haunted me. It was horror. And I went home and told my husband, I said, I don't know what that case is about, but if CASA gets it, I want that case.
And I was assigned the case when it was actually almost time for permanency planning, which is the 12-month date from the time the child was taken into care. And at 12 months, or permanency planning, you have to have a plan for that child's future.
The little 7-year-old had been sexually abused by both her mom and dad. And I knew that day when I seen her, that whatever it was, I needed to be there for her.
In training, one of the things that we were taught was the percentage of parents who actually can break free of the meth addiction. And my thought going in was, this won't happen. I was sort of prejudiced in the fact that, this child is not going back to these parents.
These kids had been moved from Indiana to Arizona to Kansas. They had been reported. I have probably 2 inches thick file of nothing but cases reported to different DHS agencies in Indiana, Arizona, Kansas. And they would go out, and as soon as somebody got onto them, they'd grab the kids and leave. So these kids have been in hell since they were born,
This father, he was a burly man who actually, I had to bring an associate with me because when I saw him in court, I was like, I'm not going there by myself.
That was her life, and the oldest one was 15. That's what she'd lived all of her life. So everybody was real thrilled that these kids thrived so well when they were in care. Well, yeah, they had to thrive, compared to where they're at,
He was actually a puppy dog in a big body, and the most cooperative father I've ever had in my entire case.
Every criminal court date they had, I was there. I wanted them to look out there and see somebody that was there for their babies.
And I guess the thing I saw most was, in that father's eyes, he was willing to go to the ends of the earth, which is what I always want to see in a parent. Go to the ends of the earth to get his child back and to provide for him safely. Even if that meant letting his girlfriend go. He was willing to do that.
He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. and Mom got 20 years.
And so we went back for the 30-day hearing after I'd been assigned, and I had to stand up and basically say what I recommended. And at that point, I was recommending that he go back to the father when everybody else in the entire room was recommending the opposite.
You know, but the day after the criminal court, they were with family out at Toadsuck Park camping, and I left the courthouse and went out there and to talk to them and tell them. And the 3 girls looked at me and said, "Miss Debbie, I don't have to be afraid anymore. I don't ever have to see his face." I said, "Oh no, baby, you don't." Yeah. So they're good. I mean, they're doing great. They're happy kids now.
His father really was trying. He was growing his own garden. He was canning his own food. He was working extra hard, just trying every way possible to get his child back. Long story short, the case closed with the father getting full custody of this child on the condition that for the 1 week that he was placed there, I go out there every single day just to make sure this child was fine.
They had an aunt come forward, and she wanted the kids. They are now all in Kansas together, and their aunt's going to adopt all 5 of them. So we're good.
So every day I went out there and I visited with this child and this father. He was thriving. The little boy was thriving. They connected. They had a bond.
I love these kids that when I first met them, just had horror in their eyes. And, you know, now it's Miss Deb, and, you know, I'm in the school play and I'm doing this, and that's worth it, you know. It's worth it.
You get overwhelmed. I brought a Kleenex in because there's times that this can be very emotional. But, you know, you stay motivated with the fact that if you weren't there for that child, they might not have anybody.
And when you get those kind of relationships with a kid that they identify with you and you with them like that, that's unreal.
There's no feeling like it to know that you've gotten a child in a home that didn't have one previously.
So I love what I do. I like the results. I like the ending. I love these kids running up to me.
You knew you made a difference that is going to last past me, and hopefully for this child, past his child, and into the next generation.